welcome to the Gone Gold podcast. Before we get into our next episode, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and don't miss a single episode of the Gone Gold podcast. We've got some incredible guests lined up and some I know you will enjoy. Let's get into this one though. This is a girl that I know quite well. We've worked at many shows. She's fantastic talent in the ring. She's hilarious out of it, and one of those that is so outspoken. She's had a great career so far at such a young age, and there's so much more to come. It's Alexxis Falcon, and it's next. Alexxis Falcon, thank you so much for joining us on the Gone Gold podcast. We've attempted this a few times. This is the one, though. We're going to get through this episode without any technical faults. Thank you for joining me. How are you? How are you handling life at the moment in lockdown?
I'm good. I'm working from home now, so I'm literally at home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not too bad though. I'm not hating it as much as I thought I would, but I'm definitely missing wrestling, and I'll be disappointed if my other Disney trips are cancelled for the rest of the year. So holding out hope it's over sooner rather than later.
Well, we're going to get to your Disney escapades a little bit later. I kind of want to get into Alexxis Falcon without kind of going too far back, just giving people an insight into who Alexxis Falcon is. You started training in 2016, made your in-ring debut in 2017 at PCW. Tell us the journey to becoming who you are now and where that all began.
So it's pretty hard actually, because a lot of stuff was kind of trial and error. So I worked for... My first outside booking was essentially where I was babyface, and I'd only really trained as and had training matches where I was training at the time as a heel. So to be told you're going from this big goth who screams all the time at people to now, what do I do? How do I make people cheer me? Like even my best friend, she doesn't watch wrestling. She used to, but like very rarely. My best friend from Hull, her name's Chloe. She turned around to me and said, "I don't know how you could be a good guy there, because I think you look like a bitch." So to me, I've just got air in my head going, "I think you look like a bitch." So I'm thinking, how do I be this good guy? And it's been a lot of trial and error, a lot of turning up to shows in the sparkliest gear that I could find, and being like, cheer me because I look like I should be cheered, to the point where I was just like, no, do you know what, I'm going to stick true to what I like to look like. Since being quite young, I've always dyed my hair. I've always gone from colour to colour to colour to colour, since like year 7, which is really bad. And I was like, I'm just going to dye my hair red, even though a lot of people would look at them, wear black, and Lilo's crying already, wear black and still sparkly and still the colours that I like. So it's kind of true to like my goth style, but also kind of true to my Disney princess side as well. So it's like the punk rock queen who thinks that she's a goth, but she's actually a Disney princess. And it's one of them. It's a lot of it has been trial and error, and it's just got to the point where I was like, no, if people are going to like me, they're going to like me for who I actually am. A lot of my stuff comes from like a lot of my favourite films, a lot of my inspiration. So Harley Quinn, I absolutely loved her in the video games, like Arkham Asylum and stuff like that. So I based a lot of the
one of my favourites, that.
Exactly. A lot of like her characters, like they're very sweet but psycho. I'm like that in real life. Like my boyfriend will tell you that he wakes up every day and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm alive!" Like, no, I don't need to be worried. But yeah, like I am that person, but I do also have that sweet, cute, fun side to me as well. So like my boyfriend probably puts it best. Like I'm a Disney princess, but Nightmare Before Christmas is like my favorite Disney film, so it's like you're like a Disney goth princess. So yeah, that's kind of how I came up with it, and I'm what I am now.
And usually we're accustomed to Alexxis Falcon, especially more lately, having bright red hair, the redhead bombshell I kind of call you in the TNT Extreme Wrestling shows. It's pink. Are we going to see a return to the reds?
Stop it. Right, so many people are dyeing their hair in lockdown, right? Which power to them, because like I said, I've dyed my hair since I was really, really young. I've been in a really bad habit with that for years. And everybody on Instagram is like, oh, I dyed my hair in lockdown because I'm not going to work. Now, I work for a bank who luckily are they're not asked what I look like. They're not bothered, even though it's like a reputational thing. They want you to be individualistic. So if that's even a word. So I've never really like concerned about the fact that my hair's red and that I work in like a professional bank. It's never really like come as a concern, but because I dye my hair so often, I literally dye my hair every 3 weeks. The fact I've got nowhere to go, I am doing the opposite of what all them people on Instagram are doing. They will soon get sick of the fact that they have to re-dye it every 3 weeks. I'm calling it now. They will not last as long as I have. Like, they just work.
Words of wisdom from Alexxis Falcon.
The novelty wears off.
Let's talk about some of your championship runs. So obviously the AOW Women's Champion as well as FSW Women's Champion. In 2020 you were looking to kind of capitalise and build momentum. You suffered a couple of losses here and there, but you've also had a couple of wins as well. So, how does Alexxis Falcon chase the next championship, and where would she like to go?
2020 for me is definitely it's took a turn as what I thought it wouldn't have done because we're all in lockdown. So TNT Women's Championship is definitely something I've got my sights set on. Definitely one I'm working towards. I feel like that will be one that really hits her in how much it means, because 5 years ago I moved to Liverpool and oh my god, my cat is literally having a poo. Can you hear her in the cat there?
Yeah.
I am so sorry. Oh no, she's not. She's having a wee. It's fine. Right. So basically, I moved to Liverpool 5 years ago, and the first independent show that I ever went to was TNT. Before I even went to a wrestling training.
Wow.
Thing.
Wow. Yeah.
So for me, TNT has been like my home promotion, because even though I'm not from Liverpool, everyone like around me always is like, oh, you're an adopted Scouser. Even my workmates who don't even follow wrestling, they're all like Scousers in my work, and they all say like, oh, it's the full-time, you're a full-time Scouser now, you got a full-time job, you're a full-time Scouser. And like I get billed now as from Liverpool, so the TNT Women's Championship is something that would like really mean a lot to me. I think that would be like a home win in a way.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm not from Liverpool, I feel like I'm part of it now.
Well, you've definitely got the Scouse twang, considering you're from Hull.
I know. My accent's horrendous, right? When I go home, all my friends from Hull think I sound really Scouse now, and all my friends from Liverpool like are just like, you do not sound in the least bit Scouse. But people like yourself who are from like different parts of the country can hear a little bit of both. Like when I speak to people on the phone, they go, where are you from? Like you sound really Yorkshire, but then sometimes you don't. And I'm just like, it's really complicated. I've got the mix of the worst two accents in the UK. Sorry to everyone from Hull and Liverpool, but it is true. So yeah.
I don't know. I think I come pretty close. So I'm originally from Birmingham. I live in London though, so I've got the mix of both as well. The odd word of a Brummie will come out, and then.
I was going to say that Brummie's a bad accent as well, but I didn't want to offend you.
Oh well, thanks very much. Thanks for considering my feelings there. Let's get into some more of the wrestling stuff for Alexxis Falcon. You've been in the ring with some of the best that the UK has to offer. The likes of Charlie Evans, who came over to the UK very recently. Jade, who you're actually good Disney buddies with, but you've had some fantastic matches with as well. Giselle Shaw, Toni Storm, Sadie Gibbs, just to name a few. Viper Piper, Niven as well. What's your experiences like being in the ring with the likes of people like that?
So for the Toni Storm and the Viper one, it's a weird one, because I think we've spoke about this before, but it was like a battle royal, and I was like first in, first out kind of thing, and they were like last in. So we were all like planning this match backstage, and then when we all came backstage after the match had ended, it was like surreal to me, because at this point they'd like just been signed to NXT UK. It was huge. Had such good buzz around them. And I was like, oh, like, thank you for being really safe in the ring with me. I didn't feel a thing, like, just like making a joke. But they were so nice and even like helped on a lot of the stuff that I was planning for my own spots before they were in the ring. And they didn't have to do that. So, you know, they were really cool. And I'd like to get in the ring with them properly and actually be in the ring at least with them and not thrown out before they've even made their entrance.
I think Alexxis Falcon versus Toni Storm would be incredible.
Oh, mate, Battle of the German Suplex.
Yeah,
it would be unbelievable. Yeah. It literally would. She is literally on my number one to work that I want to work. It'd be so any bookers make that happen. Like, do it.
Get it booked.
Now.
Yeah.
Not for you, for me, like for my own personal reasons. So yeah, I would really love to work Toni Storm and Viper as well. She's so talented, so good, and they're both such nice ladies. Jade, yeah, absolutely love her to pieces. Like we are Disney buddies as well, and we just have a laugh in the ring. Like she's somebody that I can have just such a laugh with. We're both like game for anything, and she's always very much like just having a laugh. Like I find it quite easy to bounce off in terms of her gimmick. And Charlie Evans, yeah, my God, she's good. Some of my favourite matches ever have had her involved. So I really, really rate Charlie Evans. I think she's one of the brightest talents that the UK has to offer at the minute.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But that's not to rule out Alexxis Falcon, because you're starting to really get around now, especially in the Northwest scene and obviously with the likes of TNT and all those guys. You're branching out. So how, you know, we've had the lockdown obviously, but I've noticed you've started to look at how to reinvent and, you know, kind of evolve the character of Alexxis Falcon. You know, the wrestler. You've obviously bought new gear, which I think you posted on social, and you've been looking at how you can manipulate moves to kind of, you know, suit the style more. You know, are we going to see a brand new Alexxis Falcon after all of this?
I mean, I hope so. I feel that literally the week before we all went into lockdown and training stopped, I turned up so it was like 2 weeks on the bounce. I turned up to training and I said to Sam Bailey, my trainer, God love him, by the way, I said to him, oh, I want to learn this move and I want to learn this move and I want to do this. And I learnt like a whole bunch of stuff and I came up with a whole new comeback and a whole new shine. And then I had that match with Jade where we didn't do any like near falls in it because like that wasn't the way that we wanted to tell that story. So it was kind of like, oh, I've only done one thing, and it was the pump kick in the corner where they're in the corner, the one I hit on Jade. That was like the only thing that I hit that was new. So it'll be interesting because I hope I've not forgot how to do it all because I've only just learned it. But I literally spent like 2 or 3 training sessions thinking of ways to come up with a new comeback and ways to come up with a new shine and finish. Oh, and I've got a new finisher as well, and I've not been able to like show that to anyone.
Oh, okay.
Literally, I've hit it once at 4GW, and the show didn't end up getting filmed because there was a problem with the camera.
Is this an exclusive right now? Is this an exclusive? So Alexxis Falcon has a new finisher. So talk us through what the finisher is.
So basically, I'm gonna give like a story of it. Sorry for rambling.
No.
You'll probably get so bored of me rambling. I turned around to Sam Bailey and said, I want a finisher that no woman uses. Like I want to start doing moves that no women use. Partly because like I just wanted something to kind of separate me, and you find that a lot of like even men do a lot of the same moves, and we were trying to think of like a finisher that not many people use or that's not really well seen. And I don't know if you've seen Velveteen Dreams. I think it might be his Nearfall now, but it's his old finish. So the best way for me to describe it is like you set them up for like a Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
Like Bray Wyatt's Sister Abigail, and then you hook them around the head. So you're in like a DDT position, and then you drop back, and it's kind of like a weird DDT. But
a bit like a flatliner.
Brutal. A little bit, but no. Yeah. It looks brutal there. And even when I hit it at 4GW, like a few of my friends was there, and they literally was like, oh my god, there's like, how is she not dead? And it's completely safe as well. I just want to put that out there, like, I don't kill people. But yeah, even when I was practicing it, James, my boyfriend, he didn't come training that day, and I showed him it when I got home, and he was like, ugh. He was like, I'm glad I've wrestled you already. He was like, that looks disgusting. So it's so good. And then like, I've just not been able to show anyone yet, and I'm so excited for when this lockdown's over, so I can just literally do all my new moves, wear all my new gear, and just everyone be like, who's that? I might keep my hair pink as well. Who knows?
Have you? Has JJ been subject to you testing this out at home on him? Yeah.
Or right, I keep getting bored. The neighbours must walk by and think that we're in like a domestic relationship, because sometimes he'll walk by and I'll just forearm him, but like dead safely, and then he'll just do it to me, and then like he'll be walking through the kitchen and I'll kick him in the gut and pretend to DDT him, but we're just like laughing. But I bet I have my blinds open all the time, and I bet people walk by and think, what the fuck are they doing? Like, what is that? So yeah, but even my next door neighbour knows that we're wrestlers, because her son, she's got like a 12-year-old son,
Oh,
and
okay.
I put my Christmas tree up in November, like the 1st of November, and she texted me saying, my son's just come home saying that the wrestlers have got their tree up already. So like, they know we're wrestlers, but it's like other people down the street that probably think that we're fucking psychos.
Oh, you're always comedy to be around, Alex. So you've also been very outspoken about wanting to travel as a wrestler, go to various promotions, places around the world. One of the main ones that you've been very vocal about is Japan, which is a place that you really want to go out and test your skills out there. You know, is it just Japan at the moment for you? Is that the long-term goal?
No, not at all. Japan, obviously, I'd love to go to Japan, because I feel like when girls go to Japan and come back, like the likes of Bobby Tyler and Charlie Evans, Nightshares, I feel like when they go, they come back, they're different wrestlers. I don't know, like, maybe I'm just thinking that, but I really do think that they come back and they're just a different wrestler. Like, you can just tell the girls who have been to Japan, like, they're in a league of their own. They're so good. But, you know, I'd love to go to the United States. Like, truth be told, my dream is to live in America. Like, and that's been my dream since before I even watched wrestling, before I even wanted to be a wrestler. It's mainly one of the reasons I got a job in the bank, because our headquarters, without giving away who I work for, is in New York. So I was like, oh, I'll work for that bank, because Lloyd's are only England based, and Bank of Scotland, sod them, I'll work for this one because our headquarters is in New York. Probably never going to get a job there, but
who knows?
Who does know? But even like without wrestling, I think America is the place I want to live, probably when Donald Trump's not in charge. Republicans who listen to this, don't shoot me. But if wrestling takes me to the USA, that would be a dream come true, because there's just so many like hidden gems of promotions in the United States.
There
like,
really is.
WrestleMania weekend, there's always like mad shit going on. Like, just every promotion is running. And I know we kind of do it in the UK, but can you imagine doing that in the States? That'd just be so boss.
I am pushing Jay's buttons at TNT Extreme Wrestling to do a show over there, just so I can go and say I've worked WrestleMania weekend. I'm doing everything I can to be in Los Angeles next year.
Mate.
So, but you know, I mean,
so good.
For yourself, you know, the long term. I mean, the ideal one for you, Alex, would be, you know, to be signed to NXT, because they're in Florida. You can go and travel to Disney in between your downtime, you know, which is perfect for you being such a Disney fan, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But I want you to tell me a funny story. And that funny story involves you at 4GW. You were coming through as an entrance, and you slipped, sprained your wrist. I believe this match was against Ivy.
No, it wasn't. It was against Lana Austin.
Was it against Lana Austin?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and you sprained your wrist. You went through the entire match with a sprained wrist, and then went, oh fuck, I need to go to the hospital.
Right. What happened? No, it's a terrible story. This, right? So this idiot, and I don't care that I'm a babyface at 4GW, this fan was an idiot, right? They were so docile about it, and I've still not seen this on footage, by the way, which I'm fuming about. So basically, as you're coming around the corner, this kid had spilled a full pint glass of Coke all over the floor, and literally, as I turned, it was like kind of like school assembly flooring. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and literally, I went ass over tit. Ass over tit. Honest to God. Got straight back up. My wrist wasn't hurting. So I got straight back up and I was like, oh my God. And this mum turned around to me and went, sorry, he spilt that a while ago. I forgot to tell someone. And I'm like, okay, well, that was useful to not tell anyone when we're in quite a small venue and I can't get to the ring without passing this puddle of Coca-Cola. So anyway, yeah, so I slipped on it. Lana didn't even see it because she was facing the other way, giving some fan grief, right? And then we get in the ring and we start wrestling, and I could do pretty much every move except to roll up, like a schoolboy. And my wrist just could not take it. And I was trying to go to her at the start. I was going, I've hurt my wrist. I fell off her. And she was going, what? And I kept going all through the match. I was going, I fell off her. And she was going, what the fuck are you on about? Like, so she just kept like wrestling me, and she was like, what is she chatting? Like, because I couldn't explain, like, oh, by the way, someone in the first row spilled a glass of Coke. Like, that's pretty hard to explain in a match when there's like fans watching.
Yeah.
So I'm just sat there going, I fell off her, and she's going, what? She's going, I can't hear you. She was like, what are you calling a spot to me? And I was literally trying to say to her, I can't roll you up. Anyway, so yeah, I fell over. After that was the day I'd moved into this house as well. So I'd just moved in. So I drove home, my wrist was throbbing, it was all swollen, and it's never been the same since, you know. And I came home and I was lifting boxes, and JJ was going mad at me. He was going, stop fucking moving shit. But I've got real bad OCD, and he was putting things away where I didn't want them to be. So when he wasn't looking, I was just picking things up and putting them in like another place, and he was going, stop it. So I really hurt my wrist, and I never got it seen to because I was too busy unpacking the house. Like, I'd literally just moved into my first home, so I was fucking about with all that, and then my wrist was absolutely killing, and still to this day I've had to learn how to do a left-handed roll-up because it hurts my wrist too much to do a right-handed one.
No. So I'm assuming you've had x-rays, right?
Eventually, yeah, but the damage had already been done. So it was a hairline fracture.
Ooh.
So
Ouch.
it wasn't like a full-on break or sprain, which is good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But like, because I kept wrestling on it as well. Sorry.
Highly low.
I kept wrestling on it, and it just made it worse. But I'm one of them people. I'm literally scared of going to the doctors. Sorry, I'm just gonna move
it's
there.
All right. So
I'm literally scared of going to the doctors. So yeah.
So that was one of your more funnier moments, or less funny, I guess, for you, but hilarious for everyone
I came
else.
backstage and said to everyone, I was going, please tell me someone's got that on camera because I want that on Botchamania. Like, I was literally going around, and Tiger, the person who runs the promotion, he was like, no, he was like, I don't think they filmed it. And I was like, I need to see this footage. I was going, I don't think you understand. Like, I've not gone through that amount of pain to not put it on You've Been Framed for 200 quid. Like, I'm sorry, I've just not.
The comedy didn't really end there for you. There's been a few other stories. One was a slight wardrobe malfunction during a match that you had as well. Talk to me about this one.
Do I have to? Right. So luckily it was at a well, that's probably not even luckily, it's even worse. It was at a training show before it was before I was even a wrestler. Like properly, I was in training, and basically there was like an angle where I had to come out and like distract somebody, and then somebody had to lift me up like to get me back. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, is that making sense? Like, kind of like a
Yeah,
bodyguard type thing. And as they came and picked me up, like, this is not even a joke. So I've got a top on underneath here, so I'm just going to demonstrate with this jumper because I've got a top underneath it. So they literally like lifted it up and up and up, and then that was fine because like their arm was covering my boob, and then as they pushed it down, full nipple on shirt, literally. There's no recording of it, but there was, because you couldn't see it because of where the camera was. So the camera was like because it was only a training show. The camera was just in the ring, so you couldn't see me, you could just hear me. And the guy who was in the ring, he's one of my really close friends, he's called Jacob. And I said to him, I went, did you see it? And he was like, no, like dead polite. He was like, I didn't see anything. And luckily there was only like 4 people in the audience who saw, so it was fine. He was like, no, I didn't see anything. And then when the footage got released, you can just see Jacob's face at the moment it happens go. And I texted him and I went, you're a liar. And he was like, I didn't want to make you upset. I thought you'd be like paranoid. And I was like, you are a liar. I was like, in future, just tell me that you've seen my tit. Like, you can just tell me.
Oh man. No, there's plenty of nicknames going around for Alexxis Falcon. There is Miss Main Event. There's the Iron Queen, which is pretty renowned for you at the moment, and the Redhead Bombshell. I'm not quite sure whether I came up with that or I heard it somewhere, but it's what I used. Did I? Okay, I'm going to stick with that. So which one is the future Alexxis Falcon?
I want to go with Miss Main Event. Because I think that there's a really big place now for women in general to be in the main event. I think I've main evented a couple of shows. The most recent one that springs to mind was one against Holly Barlow at Future Shock. It was at the Stockport Town Hall. That was like late last year. And the nerves that I felt going into that match was just unbelievable. But I also feel like when you are that nervous for a match, it brings out the best in you.
Yeah.
And I want people to see the best Alexxis Falcon that they can get. I do suffer with nerves really, really badly. And I think that the minute somebody says, here, we're putting you on in the main event, I get butterflies. I'm all, oh no, I can't. No, I can't do it. I'm like, do you not want to swap with us? I'll literally go around the knock room going, do you want to swap with us? We'll go on second. We don't mind. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, it's just one of them. I think there's real place for women to be in the main event now. I think there's long gone, or long should be gone, are the days that there's only one women's match on the card, or there's no women's match on the card in some instances. So
yeah,
no, I definitely think that there's space for that, and I'd love to be a part of it because I feel like I'm improving. Well, probably not now because we're in lockdown, but I felt like I was improving bit by bit, slowly but surely. Bless you. So yeah, that's what I would prefer. I prefer to be known as Miss Main Event. I'd like to be the one that promoters can trust and that people would pay their money to see.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more. And I was saying to a mutual friend of ours only earlier today, Kieran Moran, who's a commentator at TNT Extreme Wrestling, that I feel now women are putting on more of a show, if not equal, more of a show than some of the men at the moment. And I would never guess that you're nervous before you're going on. You always seem quite composed, very bubbly. You've obviously got energy because you're always jumping around. But I always look forward to seeing your matches. Like, there are times at shows that we've worked to the same that I have held off interviewing other talent because you're on and I want to go and check out the match. So
thank you.
It's what I think there's a bright future for you. I really do, Alex, and it's one of those that I think definitely Miss Main Event suits your style and character going forward. I really do.
Thank you. I do really appreciate that.
That's all right. I'm just forever putting you over. It's become part of my job role. So let's get into some of the additional fun stuff of Alexxis Falcon's life. Huge crush on Roman Reigns. and Seth Rollins. Huge crush almost obsessed from what I've been told.
Has Kieran Moran told you that? I'm gonna kill him.
He may have given me a little nudge.
He's the one who's told you all these embarrassing stories. I swear to God. I bet you haven't embarrassed anybody else on these interviews. Only me, because Kieran's telling you all. He's feeding you inside info. Oh yeah, Roman Reigns. Although I have only got eyes for JJ Webb.
Obviously, only JJ. But you're also a huge Disney fan, which we've touched up on already. But let's go in depth. How much of a fan you are of Disney? Almost to the point where you are the Disney princess. You go to Disney World and Disneyland at least once, twice a year. So come on, fill us in. How obsessed are you with Disney?
Oh, mate. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. So I basically came out of the womb with my dad showing me Star Wars on like his phone, if he could have done at that time. Yes, I've been forced to watch that. So I say I love Star Wars. I probably don't even love it. I've just been forced to love it. My mum and dad took me to Disney World. It was like a once in a lifetime trip at the time. You say that every time, don't you? But they took me when I was about 6 years old, and I just love it. I know the Little Mermaid word for word. Like I know that film word for word. JJ will not watch it with me. I just absolutely love it. Like I can't describe to you how happy it makes me. So yeah, it's like my little getaway from everything. So like wrestling's like my getaway from real life, but Disney's like my getaway from, because sometimes there's a little bit of negativity in wrestling. So yeah, Disney's like my getaway from all of that.
So how far has your obsession taken you though? Are there some extreme stories where you've gone to parties dressed up as Disney characters, or things like this? Have you gone out and bought ridiculously expensive merch and things like that for Disney?
Yeah, so I've got the Disney Lego castle upstairs.
Wow.
In my bedroom. That was like £300. I got like £100 off it though, because the box was apparently damaged, but it wasn't, so that was great. I've literally, in this lockdown, I have spent more money. I've got about 24 pair of Disney ears and counting, and they're all like custom made ones.
No way.
So they're all like 50 quid a pop. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I collect Loungefly bags and Disney pins as well, and that's an expensive habit.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I imagine you've been binging on Disney Plus quite a lot.
I can't stop. Like, everybody needs to watch the Imagineering Story. Like, this is a public service announcement from Alexxis Falcon that everybody needs to stop what they're doing after this podcast and put Disney Plus on and watch the Imagineering Story. And then that's why I love Disney so much. Like, for anybody that wants like the insight, I would say that that's the best.
I started that last night and I've watched 3 episodes and I can't say it's incredible. Like that man, Walt Disney, never got to see his ultimate dream of opening in Florida. But oh my God, that man worked up until his last day.
I know, and I think that like, even though I go like quite a lot and I'm proper theme park addict, I think even when you're on the rides and stuff, you think, oh, that's a really small detail I didn't realise. Like, you'll be in the queue for Pirates of the Caribbean and there's like a ring on the floor that like embedded in, and you're like, oh, that's a really cool idea. But when you watch that programme, like, they literally tell you there's a reason behind every single nook and cranny in every place you stand. Like, no matter where you are stood, there's a reason for that, like why that is there at that time.
Yeah.
And I just think it was absolutely like, it was inspiring. I texted my dad, he's an engineer, he's ready for retirement now, but I texted him and I was like, you have missed your calling, you should have been an Imagineer at Disney World. And he was like, I know.
Yeah, and thanks to a new series on there as well called Prop Culture,
yes.
Which is incredible. At the Pirates Caribbean ride now, the actual chest from the film is in the included in the ride, which is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Watched I've only watched 3 of them. I've watched the Pirates of the Caribbean one. I've watched the Nightmare Before Christmas one, obviously. And I've watched the Who Framed Roger Rabbit one. The other 2,
I've watched the same 3.
Have you? Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's so weird. Because the
I
other
haven't
2,
watched
I
Mary
can't remember what it was,
Poppins.
but I wasn't that bothered about them.
Yeah, Mary Poppins, and I forgot the other one.
Alice.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think it's Alice in Wonderland, is it? I can't remember. But I know one of them's Mary Poppins. Tron.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course.
So those are the 2 that I weren't really fussed about. So, but yeah, I've watched the other 3. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion.
So underrated.
Phenomenal. Yeah, it really
so
is.
underrated. It's a joke.
So besides being an absolute Disney fan, before we move on from Disney, actually, what's your top 5 Disney films?
Oh, right. This is really hard. I'm not naming them in any particular order. So obviously we've got Nightmare Before Christmas, because like I practically am Jack Skellington. The Little Mermaid, Coco, unpopular opinion, it's the best Pixar film. Sorry, Toy Story, no regrets. And then I like Bambi. I like Lady and the Tramp, but I also like Moana. So like just recently I watched Moana for like the 5th time. And I don't know what it was about this one time, but when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, I think this may be in my top 5 Disney films. Like this could have overtook Lady and the Tramp.
Ooh, so, yeah, I don't know. Lady and the Tramp isn't even in my top 10, if I'm honest. It's not. Like Aladdin, Jungle Book, they're definitely in there. Lion King, obviously. Nightmare Before Christmas will always be at the top. Alice in Wonderland was one of the first films that really captured my creative imagination.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting because like I watched Jungle Book the other day. I've not seen it for a couple of years, but I watched Jungle Book the other day and my cat enjoyed it more than I did.
Oh, really?
She was like stood at the TV like that, like just watching every single thing. Like that was more entertaining for me than the actual film. But I don't like the live action Jungle Book remake. But unpopular opinion, because you mentioned Aladdin, the live action remake of Aladdin was better than the original. Sorry.
No, really? What about Robin Williams though?
Right. So here's the thing. So, and I'm gonna get so much stick for this, but I don't care. So. Robin Williams was an absolutely phenomenal genie. I'm not taking anything away from him, but too many people was really like underplaying and undermining Will Smith's performance before they even saw the film. They was like, no, how can Will Smith be the genie? Like, I hate to say it, and obviously, if Robin Williams was alive, he would have played the genie, obviously. Yeah. Like, he had to, but somebody had to fill that gap. Somebody had to fill that void. And I honestly do think that Will Smith did an absolutely excellent spin on it. But I just think like the film in itself was so like captivating and so like beautifully done. Like just for even from like the colours, like I didn't want to take my eyes off the film. Whereas when I'm watching the cartoon, I will sometimes take my eyes away from the film and maybe go on my phone for a minute. Whereas like the live action one, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Aladdin's up there next to the Mary Poppins reimagination or whatever it is. Those are the 2 best live actions I think we've had so far.
Yeah.
I'll be honest and totally upfront about this. I was one of those people who was like, oh, Will Smith as a genie, really? But I think he'd had a few recent bad performances.
Yeah.
Going into this. But I'll tell you what, that man stole the show. He was incredible, especially during that song where he takes Aladdin into the kingdom.
Prince Aladdin, like, that was the point for me. Like, me and JJ both said this because we went and watched it together, and we literally watched it like 2 nights ago, which is really weird, the live action one. He put it on, not me, just want to put that out there. And we both said like that song is the best song, but in the actual cartoon version it's not the best song, but like in that one it is. It's mad. Yeah,
it was crazy. It was so well done, and like you say, really captivating, beautiful, very colourful, and really just like happy. It makes you feel so happy.
Yeah,
and that's what I loved about the Mary Poppins one. If you're ever in a place where something's not right or you just need a bit of cheering up, just stick Mary Poppins on, man. Yeah. Like, so good. And Emily Blunt, was it, I think, who was the actress? Was it Emily Blunt?
I'm not that great with actresses.
I can't remember. She did a great job.
Yeah.
So besides wrestling, besides being a Disney fan, you're also a gamer. You're getting stuck into Animal Crossing a lot. I've noticed there's a lot of Animal Crossing going on the social media of Alexxis Falcon at the moment. How is your journey going on your island at the moment?
I finally got rid of Hipperks. I don't know if anyone has seen my angry Twitter about how much Right, so basically on Animal Crossing, you get villagers that come and live on your island, and this ugly hipper just moved in, and he used to call me Natch. What sort of a name is that, please? So he used to call me Natch, and I complained to Isabel about him so many times. And I got people coming to the campsite, because you get people who come visit, and like asking if they could swap, and he'd never say Hipperks' name. And finally, this morning, he's gone.
Has he gone? So, right, so you're celebrating that he's gone from the island. So what does this mean for your island now that he's disappeared?
Means that somebody else has moved in, called, I can't remember his name, like Costa or something, like Costco, not Costco, like the shop.
No,
It's spelled like it's spelled like EAU at the end, or like it could be like ow. I don't know how you pronounce it. And he's like this sporty thing. He's like a frog with a mustache. But he's so much better than Hipperks, because I hated him. So yeah, now I've got all cute villagers on my island. So yeah.
Nice. So has it always been Animal Crossing?
Yeah, I've literally played it since I was little. I said to James when it came out, when it came out a couple of weeks ago, I sent him to the shop because I've been like shielding from all this coronavirus nonsense. So I said to him, I was like, you need to go to the shop, you need to go and get me Animal Crossing. It come out this morning. And he brought it back, and I could spend like 12 hours a day on it. It's really bad. Like, it really is terrible.
No way.
But I used to play it on the Nintendo DS when I was like 10.
Oh, no way. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's it. Right, so we've got a little gamer in you as well. This has been awesome, Alex. I always love chatting to you, and you're always so much fun. Your wrestling career, like, I feel like it's just growing all the time.
Oh, thank you. I hope so.
And I really can't wait to see what's in store for the end of the year. But I think 2021 is going to be the year that everyone knows who Alexxis Falcon is. And I have no doubt that you'll be following a lot of your friends and people that you've been in the ring with, to end up getting that contract. You're still quite young as well, and a lot to give. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next.
22 years young. You're only as old as you feel, but I feel about 70. But 22. WWE, I can be trained up to exactly how you want me. Just putting it out there.
There we go. So if I do you know what? I do know that there are people from WWE that have watched this podcast, because I've had to get permission from them for certain interviews that are coming up in the next few weeks. So I do know that someone there is watching these, or has watched some of them. So yeah, there you go. Sign Alexxis Falcon.
Do it.
Definitely do it. It's been a pleasure as always, and yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed chatting with you. So hopefully we'll get to catch up soon once all the wrestling starts again.
I know. I can't wait to give everyone a big cuddle.
Where's the first? Obviously you're gonna want training, getting into everything first, hopefully, rather than just being thrown into a match.
Yeah, I hope they let us. I know promoters, like, I know you're all losing money, like, and I'm sorry about that, but please let us train for like a month before you put us back on shows. I do not even want to think about taking that first bump. Like, I don't want to think about it. It's giving me anxiety thinking about how bad it's going to be.
Oh, who knows? If it's someone like Jade, maybe it'll be a bit different from a bump. So yeah, but it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you so much,
thank you, Andrew.
Can't wait to catch up with you soon.
Thanks. You too.